All right, we are back with another FBA Lifestyle Podcast, and on this episode, Natalia Villaveses, but Villa for short, she's going to tell us how just only about a year and a half after getting into Amazon FBA, she's already scaled her business to multiple seven figures coming soon. And she's from Canada, currently in Canary Islands, Spain, which is close to Africa. Natalia, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, yeah, happy to have you on here. And we connected through the Chiang Mai Amazon sellers group. So that's really cool. You're obviously living that remote work digital nomad life. So I guess let's kind of just jump right into it. Like, how did you scale your FBA business to multiple six figures in just a year and a half?
Yes, well, it's been quite the journey. I started about a year and a half ago in Chiang Mai, actually, and I at the time was really into finding an online business that I wanted to succeed in, to achieve financial freedom and geographical freedom and many things that many of us are looking for. And I had at that point already tried to build another business. I had started, my story really begins in London when I was working a really intense job in the finance sector. And it was kind of sucking the life out of me because I was commuting for hours every day just to live a really stressful job, have to please my boss. And it was just killing me from the inside out. And I just could see that my life was just going to be this way for the next few decades if I didn't do something about it. So at this point, I saved all the money I could, which was difficult in such an expensive city, but I did that. And once that happened, I quit my job. I left at this point to Budapest in Hungary, mainly because at that time I didn't really know much about Chiang Mai, and just thought, well, I need to move to a cheaper place because I can't be starting a business in one of the most expensive cities in the world. Mm-hmm. So I moved to Budapest, started e-commerce Shopify business at that point. But that didn't go so well, mainly because I chose the wrong products to begin with, I think. And I made a lot of beginner mistakes in that I didn't really ask for enough help. I didn't follow a course. I just thought maybe that I was smart enough to kind of pull it off myself. And that's a lot of mistakes that beginners tend to make. And so that didn't turn out so well. And when that didn't work out, I then found out about Chiang Mai. I moved to Chiang Mai. And at this point, I went through another rough patch because I was trying to sort of rebuild my savings, because at this point I had invested quite a bit of them into my previous business. So I was with my partner and we were just working random online jobs and spending as little as possible and trying to save as much as possible to launch another business. And that's when we started meeting really interesting people who were themselves running Amazon FBA businesses. And for me, that was a big wake-up call because it felt real at that point. Everything before that had just been, in a way, my imagination, like goals that I wanted to have, but I hadn't actually seen people who had achieved it. So when that started happening, that really inspired me to get into this space and learn more about Amazon FBA, what it was. So that's when my FBA journey started. Yeah. And it was very exciting, actually, because at this point, I feel like I'm way more analytical as a person. So Amazon FBA is a great route for me because there's a lot of, it really is based on data that you find on Amazon. And as opposed to kind of taking a risk and coming up with your own ideas, like this is really database. So that helped me a lot because it's something I'm good at, and I was able to focus on that. And that's where it all started. I launched my first product in November of 2018. And then that it worked really well. And so I decided to scale that further and expand to new marketplaces. And yeah, so now here we are a year and a half later. I've got many products selling on Amazon. All of them are generating a good amount of sales per month. And this year, hopefully, going to reach 7 figures. That's the goal, but don't know if that'll
Wow.
happen, but fingers crossed.
7 figures, 7 figures in revenue, yeah, between all your products and marketplaces.
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
So, but we'll
Wow.
see. That's the goal.
Nice, nice. And wow, so you launched your first product and your first product did well.
Yeah, it did. My first product did well, which was great because I know that it's also normal to launch products that don't go so well, especially at the beginning. But yeah, I was lucky enough. I was at the right place, right time, had followed all the right analysis, and I was also really lucky to find a really high quality manufacturer for the product. So it's just been really great.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's great. Yeah, as in business, as in life, sometimes it takes a little bit of luck. You
Yeah.
find that right product market fit at the right time as it's uptrending, et cetera, competition level, all that stuff. So looking back, what were the major keys to success that you think made your first product successful?
I think the main factors were, first of all, that I think especially beginners, they tend to go for cheap products because they require less investment. And the problem with that is that you'll be found with so many other beginners and so many other people trying to get into these same marketplaces. So they get crowded really quickly. And also, I find it difficult to sometimes add a lot of value when you're selling really cheap products. So my strategy was more towards going for a more expensive product that I could make premium and sell a high quality device essentially, or high quality service, packaging, etc. And that really helped me because even though competition grew over time, there was still this element of, oh, this is a premium product selling at a higher price. And since many other beginners at the time were probably unwilling to do that, then I was able to take an advantage over other people. So I think that
Nice.
was the key.
I like it. I like it. Yeah, actually, my first successful product was that same story. Came in and we were the premium product. We had, the most premium product actually, and then so therefore we're able to charge a higher price. And there's always that certain segment of shoppers that want to get the most expensive one. Like people who buy iPhones and MacBooks, they just want to get the most expensive phone because it's worth it to them to just get the nicest one. So that premium product play, it's a good one. It's a good one. Uh, cool. And then how were you able to? What was the trick to scale from there? Were you launching related products, or What was your trick to scale it?
Actually, so the first thing I did to scale was, since I found something that worked, a product that worked in a marketplace, customers were happy, and it just, everything was working great. I thought, well, why don't I launch the same product in a different marketplace? So that was my initial expansion because I found something that worked. So why not rinse and repeat? That was sort of my thinking.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, basically been expanding all over Europe. So we expanded to France and then UK, expanded also even to Australia, which is a newer small market,
Ooh.
but and it's very small. I mean, it gives me the least sales per month,
Uh
but
huh.
it's also just a very kind of sure thing because there's barely anyone there. So it doesn't really change much. It gives me a sort of guaranteed amount of small sales per month. And it's little effort for me since I already am producing the product for other marketplaces anyway.
Wow.
So yeah, it's sort of the main strategy has been take one product, sell it in many marketplaces. And then once there's something big is going with that and the brand is sort of building, then maybe launch other products under the same brand and continue from there.
Got
That's
it.
been the main strategy.
Nice. Wow. How much do you make on in Amazon Australia, like compared to your total, like 5% of your compared to the US or something like that, or?
Yeah, well, compared to US, it would definitely be like it's tiny. I mean, really tiny. Compared to European marketplaces, I would say maybe it even generates 25 or 20. or 25% of the sales. The reason I say that is because even though Australian market is tiny, there's barely anyone there, and I'm the only one selling this product there. So even if it's
Yeah.
way smaller than, for example, a UK marketplace, I still sell kind of more in comparison to size because yeah, because of that. There's
Nice.
lots of competition in the UK, and in Australia, I'm able to benefit from being one of the only choices.
Nice.
So
And you send your inventory to FBA in Australia, right?
yes.
Cool. And then in the UK, are you on like all five marketplaces there? Or I mean in the EU?
Yeah, well, currently on three, so UK, France, and Germany. But right now, expanding to pan EU, so I want to be selling everywhere, Spain, Italy. So
Yeah.
we'll see. Hopefully, in the next couple of months, it'll be absolutely everywhere.
Cool.
But
What's your biggest country in Europe?
I would actually have to say France, surprisingly.
Huh.
Y- yes, actually, because Germany and UK are big marketplaces, but France, I think there was an added value there because I speak French and my partner is also French. So it's sort of like a good understanding of the customer there. So we were able to make something really like for French customers and less competitors that would go to the UK because they speak English. It's sort of an easier market to get into, didn't go into France. So we've got less competition and also I'm able to add that extra value there. So
You got a
probably France actually.
wow, yeah. You so great listing, you're able to have it written by, a professional French speaking person and maybe, change the angle of the product a little bit, speaking more to a French audience. And okay, that's very interesting. And your your total sales in Europe, how much is that compared to like your total USA sales?
It's actually the majority currently because even though I am in the US, I kind of expanded to the US only recently. And so I'm
Mm.
still kind of trying to get to the top of that market, whereas Europe, I'm kind of well established. So
Oh.
currently, Europe sells, yeah, most of my sales probably come from Europe, and US is growing quickly.
Oh, wow. Did you
Yeah.
did you start in Europe or did you start in
I
US?
started I started in UK actually. UK
Oh.
was my first marketplace ever.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I see. So, did you choose to start in UK based on the analytics, the competition levels and everything?
Yeah, so I didn't start off Amazon FBA thinking I really want to sell in the UK. I had no particular attachment to that marketplace, but when I was doing my market research, mainly in the US actually, I found many product ideas that were good in the US, but still kind of competitive, more or less. And then I just thought at the time, well, what is it like in the UK for the same marketplace? And at the time, it was just way less competitive. There was much more room. And so I was able to kind of take the best ideas from the US market that already existed at the time
Hmm.
and introduce them to the UK somewhere where there weren't these things and customers were ready to buy. So that was a good idea to start with.
Nice, nice play on that. Yeah, I've been telling people same thing. That's by the book. People were like, "What's better to sell, UK or USA?" It's like depends on the product, bro. Do the
Yeah, it does.
research, check both. Depends on the competition level and the numbers and everything. So okay, sweet, awesome, and then okay. Have you thought of or are you selling in Canada?
No, so I'm currently not selling in Canada. Um, I've thought about it, of course, because I'm from there, and it'd be nice to sell in Canada. So far, haven't gone there, just again because the numbers haven't shown me that it's been the best marketplace to get into. Other marketplaces have been more interesting so far, but maybe in the future, maybe that'll be something to do for
Cool.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. We just started in Canada in recent months, and sales are I don't know 5% of what USA is. Just because it was relatively easy to set it up. Parker's handling all that, But we sold in the Europe a few years back, and then with the 20% VAT tax and the sales weren't as good, we kind of stopped it. But now we're looking into it again. What has been your experience with the whole setup, and especially with the VAT tax thing?
It's a big headache.
Yeah.
I really wish it didn't exist. But the way I see it is because it's such a big headache, many sellers will get discouraged by that and just not go into those marketplaces. So that if you do get through that stage, then you are at an advantage in a sense. That's what I try to tell myself when I'm getting through all of that process, because especially when you're trying to expand or launch into Europe, you will have to go through so much paperwork to register for a VAT number, and that takes a lot of time, a lot of money sometimes. And also, once you are in the market, it does take a cut of your margin. But that being said, everyone is experiencing the same thing. So I think the prices sort of adjust for that. Um,
Got it.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
just about getting through the beginning,
Yeah,
the
bigger barrier
beginning
to
aspect.
entry.
Yeah.
Um, okay, cool. I actually just saw an email yesterday, last night from Amazon Seller Europe, saying Amazon's coming out with a new VAT approval system that's kind of handled within Amazon. Did you notice that by chance?
Yes, I did actually. I noticed they're actually releasing a lot of programs to encourage sellers to sell in Europe, and they're trying to make it easier for you to register for VAT and all of that. So you can actually apply to many of these things, and they can approve to give you some funds and even hire a company to help you out with all of this. And they'll even give you a bunch of VAT reports. They're really developing all of that section because they've realized that it's been discouraging for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah. They're realizing, yeah, a lot of people have the same discouraging experience. So Amazon's like, all right, how do we make this better? Because they're obviously trying to take over the world slowly, one country at a time.
That they are.
For better or for worse, that's their agenda. Obviously, not their fault. That's just what businesses do. They expand, and they're already going into so many new countries. Like I said, they're like in Czech Republic. They're like, they're already in Turkey, obviously India. Yeah, it really, if you want to go global, like it's growing, and it's not gonna slow down. For better or for worse, it's looking like. And a lot of these countries, obviously, Amazon is not big yet, but like you said, one advantage of getting in early is just take that early real estate, and you might get, single digit percent of sales compared to USA, but at least it's there. It's a little bit more, and as that country's Amazon popularity grows over the years, some listings last for 5 years, 5, 10 years. So you just
Exactly.
have that real estate. As long as the product is like relevant and good, it stays there
Yep.
indefinitely for a long time. And of course, you can always launch version 2.0, if you need to improve it down the road and stuff. But interesting. Yeah, we got to step our game up. We got Japan is another one.
True.
Um,
Japan is getting there. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so many places. Some marketplaces, Dubai as well, is
Oh,
Qatar in general is getting in on it as well,
wow.
which is interesting.
Didn't even know
Um,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
Amazon's world domination. They're continuing to do it. So so you've launched more products. What has been your key with more products? Is just related products in the brand, or what's been your strategy there?
Yeah, I've been trying to, because my brand has expanded so fast and so quickly, I've been trying to capitalize on that by launching other things within the same brand or somewhat related. So that's sort of been my strategy also, because my goal is to create a strong brand on Amazon, because I think that's very valuable in the future. Because I'd say the one downside, and there are very few downsides of Amazon FBA, but one downside is that you are really reliant on Amazon. If they decide to take off your account, to take off your listing, that's it. you're done. So my goal sort of is to create a brand on Amazon that can later expand outside of Amazon and be sort of more long lasting in that respect. So yeah, I've been trying to launch within the same umbrella of the brand. I would have liked to launch earlier, but sometimes, it's a very cash flow intensive business.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes time to, like, I've seen opportunities and I can't go for them, and that's the most frustrating thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, slowly getting there, launching new products. Still today, launching a new one in a couple of months now. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how
Nice.
things progress.
Awesome. Yeah, that's, reminder to people listening. Amazon is one tool in the toolbox to create cash flow, but it's not the end all be all. It's all about building that brand, diversifying your sales over to your website, getting the email list, and kind of building that big brand. That's kind of what you want. That's kind of the holy grail, is building a household name brand of something. Then you've made millions. So on that note, are you doing anything to capture customer emails, like inserts or anything like that?
Yeah, so we do have inserts to try to encourage email collection. We offer guarantee, so that customers can sign up for the guarantee and hence give us their email. We've got many strategies like that in place. Even sometimes by just providing excellent customer service, the customer will actually want to reach out to us. So we make it very available how they can do so outside of Amazon. And many customers have actually found us, contacted us through there. So yeah, we've been slowly building a customer list, email list, and hopefully, yeah, that'll become really valuable in the future, even for launching new products. That's key, because you can just share it with your list and chances are they'll be interested. They already trust your brand. Especially nowadays where launching has become a little bit more challenging, or the old tactics no longer work anymore. So having that strong presence is important. So I would definitely recommend doing that and focusing on that as early as possible, because a lot of people, they wait, even myself included, wait too long before starting to do these things. But if you can start as like from the get-go, that's really valuable.
Nice.
For sure.
Yeah, we do the same thing with the QR code on our insert. Scan to register your extended warranty, et cetera, get a free gift. Also get your instructions, blah 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 blah. Email opt-in. Cool. What has been your kind of launch strategy to kind of get your initial quick reviews?
Well, we've got, the last time I launched a product was about 6 months ago. So, well, a new product anyway. And I think it's been really, just to launch a product to ranking, it's been mainly PPC based, just because giveaways are no longer very recommended. So definitely PPC based. And to get reviews, we often try to contact the customers themselves. Like, for example, as soon as a customer messages us, then we'll be insanely good customer service, like over the top, to try to get some reviews. Of course, there are the inserts, which help as well. You encourage them to leave a review. And of course, like, if you can find any other way to reach out to your contacts, to reach out to anyone who could help out, then that's always a little boost at the start. But we haven't had any sort of big black hat way to get reviews because we've seen it backfire many times for other people. So yeah.
It's like you see those certain listings where it's like they just list and then they have like 200 reviews like in a matter of like 1 month. It's like, what? How did you do that?
How is that
what
possible?
Are these people's secret things? What kind of used to be the thing is 99% off coupons for like giveaways.
Yeah.
Now everyone does the free after rebate thing. Rebate sites, we do some of that. We do kind of free after rebates, but like 2 big email lists. it's depending how you look on it, depending how you look at it. You know, it's some people say, you know, be careful. It depends how you look at it. But okay, yeah. And then Amazon has the new request review button. Have you used that yet?
Yes, I have actually tried to do it in a timely way, like when a certain amount of time has passed after the customer has purchased the product and you know they've actually probably tried it at this point. Then I try to send them a request. I don't know if it's hard to know if it helps or not. It must. It must for sure.
Mhm.
We've also got emails, just automatic emails in place. So when a customer does order, then we of course send them emails and ask them to leave a review. So I guess this is just an additional way to do that, to be like, hey, remember, you can leave
Mhm.
a review,
Mhm.
give them a little nudge. But I think it has helped. Hard to know though.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, we actually haven't even got into that, but um, definitely gotta implement that soon. Um, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I guess what other kind of tips, tricks, lessons have you learned that you would share with someone who is kind of either wants to get into FBA or kind of just starting?
Um, I think the key thing I would say is people, I mean, it's good to dream big, but I also think sometimes, especially in today's marketplaces where a lot of the marketplaces are way more mature and it's not necessarily the Amazon of 5 years ago, sometimes it's actually better to go for products that sell, I'd say, a medium amount. So maybe don't go for like the bestseller, the unicorn product that you think is going to bring you your financial freedom next year, because chances are you'll get so many competitors in with you as well, and that's just, you're going to end up competing on price. You're going to want to get rid of your inventory. It's just, it's a disaster. And I think what's worked for me is trying to go for the sort of medium-sized marketplaces where it's worth it to go into because you're earning enough, but it's not necessarily the most attractive marketplaces that everyone would jump into. And the reason why it's been so good for me is because these types of markets last way longer, because you don't have a horde of competitors coming in to try and take your sales. So I launched a product 1.5 years ago. It still generates the same amount today. I think it'll still generate the same amount in a year and a half. So sometimes it's better to go for sort of medium style marketplaces. Also, don't close your eyes to other markets outside of the US, because a lot of
Mhm.
people tend to do that. The US is very attractive. It's got the most volume of sales, and there's no arguing about that. But sometimes the better opportunities are in other places, and you can scale from there. So I would say open your eyes, and I would also say don't be discouraged, because a lot of people right now say that Amazon FBA is no longer viable in 2020 because
Mhm.
it's too late and you should have gotten in 5 years ago. But I'm living proof that I'm a relatively recent seller. I've been at this for a year and a half, and I'm living off of it. This is my life. I'm building my own business. I get to run it from wherever I want, and it's still possible today, both for men and women, because there are not that many women. At least when I started out, there weren't that many women inspiring me or teaching me about that. So whether you're a guy or a girl, wherever you're from, whatever you're doing, it's still possible. You just need to follow the right techniques and get people who inspire you. And hopefully, like, I can begin helping other people as well. Now that I've reached this point, I've kind of started to want to share my experience and tell people that it's really possible. So hopefully, like, my plan is to kind of develop a YouTube channel and start to make connections in this space a little bit more, because I've been really quiet for a year and a half and just like
Yeah,
focusing on my thing. But I think it's important to share with other people that it's possible, and it's still possible today.
absolutely. Awesome. Yeah, it's same with me. Obviously, you know, we got into this obviously because we were inspired by someone else doing it, you know, on a screen,
Mm-hmm.
on a little YouTube screen, and then we get there and it's like, holy crap, like I'm there. And then yeah, it's paying it forward by, you know, helping other people, especially if you like talking and like teaching, someone like you and I who are like all about it. So cool. I guess yeah. What's your blog? What's your channel? Do you have anything that people can search and find you or?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube under Natalia Villa, FBA, if you can't find me just under Natalia Villa. And yeah, that's about it for now. We'll see how things evolve over time.
Cool. And so, I guess let's get into I guess travel slash lifestyle a little bit. How long have you been like a digital nomad, and where have you been, and what are your plans?
Good question. I started about 2 years and a half ago now. Time flies, and to be a full-on digital nomad. Um, but I've really properly enjoyed it for a year and a half since Amazon FBA. But I've been
With the
to,
passive income.
yes, exactly. But I've been to Budapest, I mentioned earlier, which is a wonderful city in Europe. In Europe, I've also been like around Eastern Europe. Right now, I'm in Spain. Um, I've also been to Chiang Mai, Bangkok. Um, I've lived on Thai Islands for a little while too, which was really nice. And what else? Also lived in Medellin in Colombia.
Ooh.
So that was really cool. Lived there for a good part of last year. Lots of actually Amazon FBA sellers there as well. And yeah, that's about it really. I think mainly those places in Europe, South America, and Asia. I'd love to go back to Thailand because I miss it. And maybe discover a little bit more of Latin America. We'll see. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah.
How about you? You're in Bangkok now?
Yeah, I'm in chilling in Bangkok right now. If I flip my laptop around, you can see my Bangkok city right here. So kind of my Central Park view. But yeah, I've been all in Southeast Asia. I mean, I did like a week or two in Medellin on a little stopover, but pretty much all Southeast Asia. Because I came out here to Johnny and Anton's conference like 4 years ago and made my initial friend group, and this has just been kind of the home base. Like, there's nothing to complain about, you know.
Yeah.
It's just so nice. It's like, oh man, you know. So, but we've done a couple around the world trips, you know, visiting places. Visited total of like 30 countries. But yeah, like once you have passive income and you can live anywhere, it's like, it's almost like a little bit overwhelming. It's like, oh my God,
It
now the
is.
world is your oyster. Like now there's all these cities and countries, and it's like, oh, you could live here, you could live here, you could live this country, this country. It's like, oh my God, whoa, where do I go next? It's like you've unlocked life, and now it's just like,
It's true.
ah, as the sun comes, ah. It, but Latin America is definitely over the years just you know been knocking, and so much to explore in Latin America. I haven't done time yet, only a couple weeks in Medellin, and just a whole nother world. And of course have tons of digital nomad friends who have done time there all around Latin America. Been going on like a Mexico City tacos street food
Oh,
videos binge lately, like starting with Mark Wiens and then all the ones that come after that. I'm like, oh my God, like the tacos there look crazy.
I know. It's to die for. I've seen so many of those videos as well. It's literally, it's mouth-watering.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So, I'm going to be getting my
Yeah.
taco on and doing some time in Mexico City and Medellin again. But yeah, it's almost like the world becomes, it's weird. It's like the world becomes so big, but so small at the same time. It's like it's small because you can just hop on Google Flights and book a ticket, and then you like can transport there. But then big because it's like there's so many cities and options of places to live now. So
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. And like you said, it can be a bit overwhelming sometimes. It's sort of like so much choice.
Hmm.
Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
what do I do now? There's so many options, but it's nice. It's wonderful. And I think you enjoy a place so much more when you know you've chosen to be there too.
Mm.
So,
Good point. That's a great point. Yeah, when you're just in your hometown and like you're there because you were born there. It's like you didn't necessarily choose to be there. But obviously, folks like you and I who have that adventurous gene. Oh man, no better career path than having an online business. Because so many of us have have that explorer gene in us that we just like need to get out and explore and not follow the rules and go, learn by trial and error and fucking get out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think it's really freeing to do so. Yeah.
Yes.
It's incredible.
Yes, it is. It definitely is incredible, worth every bit of it. So I got to run to the gym here. Hopefully this tropical storm doesn't come in. But I'm going to hop on my motorbike taxi, 2 minutes up that way to the SkyTrain, zip down, 10-minute SkyTrain, and then a 2-minute walk into the gym where I'm about to get my little CrossFit workout in.
Nice. Living the Bangkok lifestyle.
Yeah, Bangkok. This has been, we started off in Chiang Mai, like did about a year in Chiang Mai, and then, after you get bored of that, you check out Bangkok, and it's like, I love big cities,
Yeah.
It's exciting, all the CrossFit gyms is definitely nice. Unlimited food, of course. And during Corona, I kind of lucked out because my building happens to have like a little office space / co-working space on the top floor. So I was just like spending 6 hours a day up there. Just like basically having my little private office during the whole lockdown convenient thing. So I've just been sticking it out here and had a nice setup. So
perfect. Sounds like a great place to be right now.
Yeah.
So
kind of lucked out with, and the Airbnb that I'm in is basically half off because everything is half off now, Corona prices. So I was able to get pretty decent setup. Can't complain. Anyway, I'm going to run to the gym. Everyone, you can go look up Natalia Villa, follow her journey. And in the meantime, we'll keep in touch in the Facebook group.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks so much for having me. And thanks so much for sharing your experiences with the world. It's really valuable.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. I love teaching and love sharing. So yeah, happy that you found it valuable as well.
Thanks for listening to the FBA Lifestyle Podcast. Don't forget to follow on all podcast platforms, YouTube and Instagram. Ready to fast track your first or next FBA product? Ready to create a real product that leaves the competition in the dust? Then check out the 90-Day FBA Challenge, a 12-week accelerator program with weekly coaching calls where we help you go from zero idea what to sell to a product live on Amazon within 90 days. And download the free Amazon Secrets ebook, FBA Lifestyle, the Amazon Experts. Start your FBA business. Achieve the freedom lifestyle.